Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
In Walmart's Huluville, everyone ready their cart. Amazing Black Friday deals are about to start. Online and in the app, such great deals to explore. Everything you love from tech, toys, and more. The days to save and the ones to remember. It's only the 25th to the 30th of November. Set your alarms. Don't miss out. These deals are epic, without a doubt. The Who's are all ready, but are you? Walmart Black Friday deals await. Who knew?
You guys, welcome to another episode of What's Your Issue? My name's Troy McKeedy.
And I'm Dara.
And I'm Dara.
And I'm Dora.
And I'm Dara. Dara, how are you?
I'm doing okay on this foggy, rainy, dark Los Angeles day. How are you?
I'm also doing okay on this dark, rainy New York City night. It's giving Gotham here.
It's raining over there too.
It is.
We're underneath the same rainy sky.
And I'm leaving tomorrow to do my almost last live show. And then I'm done. And I made it through a government shutdown, being at the airport every week. And I can't believe it.
I'm so proud of you. I was so worried. Every time.
You were.
I was
know.
like, is he gonna make it?
I know. Dara really sat down and held the top of my hand and was like, listen, I'm worried about
I'm
you.
worried.
And you had every reason. I was worried too. I mean, I almost did not make it to many, many shows, but
because there were no air traffic controllers and you were just going to drop out of the sky.
No, literally. And a guy from the real world is just winging it. Literally.
Ah!
No, yeah. I'm very, very, very excited to continue our Nancy Joe.
This is our
moment.
last one. It's
our last one, and we're going out with a goddamn bang. You sons of bitches, you have no idea what you were in for. This is going to be so... This might be my favorite article. I'm going to be honest.
Wow. I think, I think so too. I think this one is just such an interesting snapshot of a time, of a place, of a family.
Yes. Yes. A family that's trying to keep it together and pretend that they're not something, but Nancy Joe is a pro, and she's picking up all of the little... she's seeing everything.
Everything. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Let's just get to it. Let me ask you the question.
Sure.
Cue the music. Troy, what's your issue?
My issue is the September 2000 Vanity Fair. This article is titled Hop Debs, and it is a look at the Hilton family by Nancy Joe in the year 2000. So this is pre-Hilton fame, post-Hilton girls becoming party girls.
Yeah. We have yet to have the sex tape. And Paris hasn't even fully, solidified herself as the star. It's still very much Nicky and Paris going to the places, but we're starting to see Paris really push forward.
The photos, which were done by David LaChappelle. You know, this is like the photo shoot that kind of put them on the map, I guess you could say. I do wonder how different Paris's career would have been had this not been like a lot of people's intro, because it was so
Love this one,
controversial.
but it feels so risque, so dirty, where she's on the beach, looks like she's just washed up. There's a bunch of surfer guys just looking at her. It looks like she's just dare I say that there's been a train that came through the station, shall I put it?
Yeah.
And like her top is pulled down and there's money everywhere and nail polish, and then she's all wet, but she has this big smile on her face, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess you don't ever see that one because it's like it makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, I don't even remember. Like, the middle finger one, Paris loves and David loves, and it's always in his coffee table books. It's like one of the images that he uses to like represent his
Though I
work,
will
like,
say,
overall.
if I just saw this without any context, I wouldn't even know it's Paris.
Yeah, I know. But I think
No,
that's
I
what's
know.
cool about
But
it.
I could just see it as it being a photo that people see and they just don't even have any idea that it's her. Because she's
Oh,
wearing
right.
huge sunglasses. She's biting her lip in a
Yeah.
way that really, like, her whole face is just distorted. She has like big bangs. So you're not seeing a ton of her face.
No, not at all. You're not really at all. It's just you never see her look like that.
So the article opens and Nancy really sets a scene of where we're meeting the gals. If I may I? Okay. It opens with Giselle was there, lounging up in the VIP section, neon lights from the dance floor flickering off her long brown body. Ben Stiller was filming her with a digital camera, part of research, he said, for an upcoming part as a male model. And do we know what that is?
I don't know. What do you think it is?
Gosh, could it be, I don't know, Zoolander?
Wait, hello.
I thought we
Ben
were
Stiller.
Ben Stiller. I thought we were doing a bit,
Yes.
Troy.
No. No, I missed the Ben Stiller of it all. Hello. Yes, of course.
I
Which is like
hesitated for a moment because
so.
I was like, bit or not bit? I
No,
cannot.
not bit.
Not bit.
Purely just my brain is not all the way here. But yes, how iconic.
Iconic. And Nikki Hilton comes in, and it's about 1:00. A tall, blonde, ghostly girl with haunting blue eyes was seen drifting around in what looked like an expensive costume for an Austin Powers movie. It was a sequin Union Jack skirt, a micro mini. Everyone looked. Nikki, said the paparazzi. It was Nikki Hilton, heiress to the Hilton Hotel fortune. Age 16. The photographer swarmed over her. Is it a school night? Someone said. She's trying to be Paris, observed one girl. Paris was Paris Hilton, Nikki's 19-year-old sister. I mean, they are babies. 16
They're children.
and 19. Even scarier when we are introduced to their mother, Miss Kathy Hilton. It was really hard to see the age on that one.
Yeah.
39.
It made me feel physically sick. I literally had to turn my phone over and return back to the article.
I yelled.
Later.
I yelled.
Yeah.
39.
I couldn't believe it. Also, even more disturbing is that at this point, Paris and Nikki have been partying for years.
Since they're 13.
Since they were 13. Like, Paris is like an old hag at this point at the clubs, and she's fucking 16 years old. Like, it's crazy.
Well, so it's interesting with this because, you know, we're learning just the absolute bare bones about them. And Paris has just gotten out of high school. So we kind of dip our toe into her high school years, middle school years. And the girls begin, of course, in LA. That's where they're friends with Nicole Richie, and that whole crew, Kim Kardashian. But then when Paris is like 13 or so, they move to New York, and that's just when everything goes awry.
Yeah, and so Kathy, I love Kathy's introduction into this
Mhm.
whole thing because obviously, Kathy has this real like hovering helicopter mom thing with the girls.
Yes.
And when she enters the room, you can just kind of feel like she immediately wants to take control of this interview and like control where it's going and what they talk about and how it's talked about. And there's a bunch of times where both of the girls are like, "Mom, stop interrupting us. Like, let us finish." Um, but she goes on this long this rant where Nancy says like that she becomes a little stressed, where she talks about why they moved to New York in the first place, which I think I've read about, but I just kind of forgot
Mhm.
that they moved because the girls, specifically Paris, had a stalker.
Which I believe to be bullshit. And
Yeah.
yeah. If you read, I believe it's in the House of Hilton, which I think Nancy name checks in this article. They talk about how uh, they say it's a stalker, but really during this time, um, Paris is in and out of her sort of therapeutic uh, schools for wayward girls.
Mhm.
And originally, she gets sent away because the rumor is in House of Hilton that she sneaks out of the hotel where they're living, the Waldorf, and they find her with, I believe it's like a trucker or something. And she's like, I don't know, like at that time, 16 or something. And so then they yank her out of school and send her to one of like the Provo type schools.
Well, it's funny when you know that she went to the Provo school and you read this article and you can understand. It's like, well, yeah, it makes complete sense that Kathy got like really tense and like didn't want them to answer that and wanted to answer it herself because she was trying to cover up,
Yeah.
you know. Um, I actually have this is the little section of the article. Towards the end of her senior year at Dwight, Paris vanished, says her classmates. No one saw her anymore at school, and there was no explanation. So people started to talk, saying that she had run away. It seemed that Kathy Hilton preferred to answer some of the more delicate questions about Paris on her daughter's behalf. When asked about Paris's quick exit from school, Kathy says in a phone interview, "Well, you know what? A pause. She never really got friendly with anybody but Dwight anyway. And Paris had a 3.8 average. She's very, very smart. We left that school because we had a stalker. Now, it says now with some anger creeping into her voice. That's why we decided to stay at the hotel, the Waldorf Towers, because the security at the Waldorf is so good there. And that's why we have the security that we have. Because, when you're an attractive girl being followed, being stalked, and I think when you're attractive, people recognize you when your pictures come out. They come out there, and it was the most frightening thing I've ever gone through. It was so scary. He was a random guy that waited. And literally, it started happening 2 months before school was out, and we did everything we could think of. It was her senior year. She wanted to graduate, so we did homeschooling. We pretended that she went there, that she went here and there. We said, "Oh, she went off there," and the truth is, she spent time in London, at the London Hilton. We brought her tutor with us. We were getting weird things from this guy in the mail. Things were being sent to our corporate office. Things were being sent to our old address in Los Angeles. It was very, very scary. And Paris is such a sweet kid. It's been awful for her. Kathy sounds very upset. You have no idea the security that we had to have around. We never let people know what was going on or why we had to spend so much money on security on top of the wonderful security at the Waldorf. She sounds determined. Yeah, to lie.
To lie her ass off.
It's like, I don't think Kathy would have, I mean, do I think Kathy would have cared that Paris had a stalker? But she would have, like, she's so flighty, she probably would have told her to be honored by it.
to pull her out of school 2 months before graduation, it's like, come
Yeah,
on. Like, if you're so rich, which, like, by the way, they're not,
right.
get her a bodyguard that's taking her to school every day.
Yeah. Well, also for Paris to not tell anybody. It's like, if you were gonna just do homeschooling, wouldn't you just tell people I'm doing homeschooling, like your
Not
friends? Like,
not just disappear out of thin air
yeah,
as if
like
you've
overnight.
been kidnapped
Yeah,
by hmm,
by a cult
by
in your bedroom in the middle of the night.
I mean, reading this article, it's truly Kathy's article. She's the real star of this. But you see, she's always been this way, even down to the fact that when Nancy first describes her, she's wearing a kooky hat, which
Yeah.
if you're a Housewives fan, you know that it's like, oh, wow, that kooky hat game that she does in Beverly Hills, it's not a put on. She's been doing that forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was really interesting to hear her, there's a section of the article where of course, Kathy goes through her old photos and her old memorabilia and all of her, old, like, pictures from TV sets that she's been on and shows that she starred in, and it was really interesting to hear them talk about her sisters because none of us knew them.
Yeah.
Well, we did, but we knew them as former child stars, and, um, it just confirms that, yeah, Kim was always the star
Mhm.
and that family lived off of Kim. I mean, that we could go on a whole tangent about that.
She did, like, a couple little bit parts on sitcoms, but she never got to the huge success of Escape to Witch Mountain.
Right. Well, I also just always felt like Kathy, it's like, Big Kath obviously taught her daughters to, like, marry rich and either be famous
Mhm.
or marry a rich man. And I feel like in that world, like, in their little myopic, like, tiny little world, like, Kathy, like, won.
Yes.
She won because she married a man that ended up being wealthy, and, like, she really achieved, like, the long-term
Which
goal.
is why then when years later, Kyle swoops in and suddenly she goes from, like, the underdog where
Mhm.
she's gotten divorced and now she's just with Mauricio, and Mauricio is just kind of, looking up to Rick Hilton. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, she's the star and she's on the show and she's the protagonist of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then Mauricio is suddenly chartering the yachts. You can see why they're constantly at each other's throats.
Yeah. Those poor girls were set up for failure. They were set up to never truly achieve closeness and to always be competitive and destructive and
Mhm.
secretive and, trauma bonded. Like, it's such a dark dynamic, you know?
Yeah, Kathy, I believe, says in this article that they were never close when they were younger,
Yeah.
and now that they're older, that they've become close. I wonder if she was so pushing for Paris from the very beginning because, like, she wanted to make sure, like, living through Paris as the firstborn,
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure.
and she never wanted it to have Nicky truly come in and usurp her like her sisters,
Yeah. Oh, that's so
who
interesting.
can
It's also just so crazy that, like, some of the stuff that they do and say they feel like a parody of a family.
Yes, they do.
Like, they don't feel real sometimes. It's, like, unbelievable that they actually exist. Like, obviously they get into because Kathy is really trying to present the girls in a certain way, and she keeps hammering that, Paris is sweet and Nikki is sweet. They're good, sweet girls. They're very smart and they have great GPAs and blah, blah, blah. But then finally we get some insight from people who encounter them and the club and
Mhm.
people who work at the hotels that describe them as just like being awful. And there's a section where they talk about how how Paris enters hotels owned by her family, and she basically walks in, demands the best room, snatches the key from the woman's whoever's working the front desk's hand, and like just goes upstairs. Like they treat the staff terribly.
Yeah, they appear as if they're a parody of a family of like, and oh, what a nice, sweet family, just a nice mom who wants the best for her kids. But in reality, while they're at the hotel at the Waldorf, there is no parental supervision.
Yeah.
They are gone all of the time. In House of Hilton, they talk about how they talk to other people who work there, and they're like, they were legitimate little terrorists, and they always had
Yeah.
animals that they were like letting out snakes and trying to scare maids and just running in absolute muck. And the parents were always gone.
The thought of a little Paris letting out like boa constrictors to scare maids is so like that's the movie that we need. That's the biopic that I
Oh,
want.
yeah. Well, even down to one of the last paragraphs where they're talking about how Kathy puts on a home movie of Paris, and Paris is watching her parents watch her on the video, and then Nicky is farther back behind her, and she's watching Paris watch her parents watch her. I'm like, oh, that is cinematic. That's cinema, as
No,
the kids say.
literally. Like that is a movie that Sofia Coppola I think actually would destroy. Like she would kill that.
Oh, it would be so good.
I also love this. They get like an exclusive from this lady named Patricia Eden, who's the River Club membership secretary. She's like kind of talking about this encounter that the girls had when they were out, and how everybody was like kind of talking about their behavior at the Rivers Club, whatever the hell that is. And she says, there was a lot of other things that took place that I'm not going to discuss on the phone. Kathy doesn't like such talk. And she doesn't quite believe it when the Post's page 6 runs an item saying Paris was doing a karaoke version of Madonna's song at the Mambo Club in Manhattan, wearing a coat over fishnet stockings, a see-through camisole, and a thong. Oh, absolutely not, Kathy says. The girls were singing Madonna at one of the new places in the city, and it was a lingerie party, and I know exactly the outfit Paris was wearing, and it was a little short thing with a little fur that goes around, and little shorts that went underneath. It wasn't a G-string. Paris is the most modest girl.
Mama, that's not
It's
going to
so
age
funny.
well.
It's so funny. I just love it. And then, oh wait, this is a continuation. It's like all she wants to do is become famous, as one friend, to wipe out her past, to become somebody else.
It's like, can we drill down on that a little harder, please?
Yeah, like that's going to become really interesting in 15 years.
Yeah.
It says that's every night for Paris. Jump on a table and dance. Go to Dublin's Monday night. Go to Guy's Bar on Tuesdays. Playboy Mansion all the time. Las Palmas on Wednesday. At some point, you must not be having fun. But I think she is. She's glittering like a disco ball. She's ambitious for attention. Like, she's 16 and already has been going to the fucking Playboy Mansion regularly. That is insane.
Insane. I do think, though, if she had stayed in LA, things would have been a lot better off for her.
You think so? In what way?
Well, I think number one, just in general, everything I've heard is that growing up in New York, you end up in way more shit than you do in LA. And that's kind of, I think it's just logistically, LA is a driving city. You have to get in a car to get somewhere. Whereas New York, you can kind of slip away, go about your business. And apparently it's a lot more, the kids apparently grow up faster. I was listening to Maya Hawke on Amy Poehler's podcast, and she was saying that like LA, chill, New York, you're smoking cigs on the subway at like 10.
No, it's New York prep.
It's New York. And in this article, I had just listened to that episode, so I was interested when I read this little excerpt where they talk about how, when the Hilton sisters moved from LA to New York in 1996, the transition wasn't easy. New York and LA are very different, Paris says. I cried. I thought I was going to hate it here. I cried, Nicky says gloomily. Everything was like different. Like when I was in LA in the 7th grade, we just all sit home on a Friday night and watch movies and like make up dances. And in New York, there's like house parties and boys.
Mm. Yeah, I get your point. Because I will be honest with you, New York children and young people scare the fuck out of me. They make me so uncomfortable when I hear young children fighting with their parents about the fastest way to get home because they took the L last night and it was shut down and they need to take the B to the. It's like, this is like not normal to me.
No.
And like the other day, even I went to the dispensary and it was like near campus. So I was like around all these college kids and they were all just like so freely doing whatever the fuck they wanted because they're college kids in New York with no restrictions and access to the entire city. And like you said, nobody drives, so you can get fucked up. And it's like, yeah, they're mature in a way that is like freaky.
Yeah. In LA, I never have to see a kid if I don't want to because they're all with their parents and at
Right.
school activities.
Yeah, they're all in the valley.
There is no reason for us to cross paths except for briefly in a Starbucks. You know, that's it.
Yeah, it's very surreal. I literally the other day I saw a little girl arguing with her mom about like how she should be what she should be allowed to purchase with her money. And like her mom was like debating with her back and forth and she was like, but I just don't understand. It's my money. Like it's my money. It's given to me and I've been saving it. So I should be able to buy what I want. I've been saving it. I'm doing the chores. I'm saving the money. And I was like, oh my God, like, and she's right.
Oh, and she
even worse,
has
she's
a point.
yeah, like no. No, I would have never put that together, but you're totally right. They would have in LA probably just had much more like wealthy suburban vibey kind of life.
Well, and they would also have their aunts, their cousins, their childhood friends who, you know, even if they're going over to the house and the parents aren't home, there's usually a nanny. There's somebody around. Whereas in New York City, it sounds like they really did not have any sort of, like anyone putting eyes on them except for hotel staff.
No, it's true. Because it's like when you're a young person in New York and then the minute you go outside, you're just like in the city. You're just out there. You can go do anything. You have access to anything at any moment of the day. Like I couldn't imagine raising children in New York. Like they're so self-sufficient, but also like I said, they're creepy.
Yeah.
They're like they scare me. Yeah, and like the whole like doting mother thing, like how much of that do you think, what percentage of doting mother when it comes to Kathy Hilton is authentic versus like put on?
Well, I think it would depend on what you're asking. If you asked her, like, I think on one hand, I think she really believes that she is this doting mother or whatever. But I think in reality, any of her doting is sort of based in narcissism. Paris is an extension of me, and so I need her to be doing the things that I approve of, and I want to have control. It's all about, that's what it is. It's anything that's quote unquote doting to me just feels like I'm controlling you, which I feel like you see in the Paris Hilton reality show, the couple seasons that she did, where Kathy just wants to have control over everything and wants her to sort of, you know, and you see it in this article, constantly interrupting her. I think she is just so afraid of appearances and of looking bad. And I think she thinks she cares. I think that there's like the biological love of a mother, but I think she's mostly just a very controlling person who is deeply traumatized herself, who had a
Yeah.
terrible, terrible mother, and she doesn't have any idea about what she's doing either.
Yeah, I feel like she's unable to view her children as anything other than an extension of her. And it's almost a curse that she was born with 2 like Barbie doll daughters,
Mhm.
because it's exactly what she didn't need.
Yeah. And then I think she completely forgot about the 2 boys.
Oh my god.
They're total
Can we talk about
afterthoughts. Oh my god.
can we talk about Baron exposing Nicky for being an abuser?
Well, I will say this, okay, yeah, that was great, and I will say, we talk a lot about how Paris doesn't get enough credit for being a bit of a bully. A lot, a
Mhm.
lot of a bully in the early 2000s, and people sort of brushing over that. Reading this, I'm like, but I think the one who has a real mean streak, real, like, sadistic,
Yeah.
like, don't fuck with her. You can fuck with
Yeah.
Paris. I don't think you can fuck with Nicky.
Nicky is the good son.
Yes.
Like, Nicky is the one who she's treacherous. And so there's a moment of this article. I wish that I pulled that quote. I didn't copy and paste it. But there's a moment of the article where Baron is like talking about, he like interrupts the interview and he's like, Nicky's mean.
Oh, yeah, wait, I have it here.
Yes.
So Nancy Joe is at their house, and she's with Nicky, and she goes, "What music do you like?" And she says, "Hole." And I'm like, okay, first of all, she's that girl. Okay.
She is that girl.
And then it says, the 2 little Hilton boys, Conrad and Baron, come up to the table. They're blonde like their sisters, tanned and red-lipped, and slightly sweaty from running around barefoot in the sun. What do you think of your sisters? I asked 10-year-old Baron. Mean, he says, picking at grapes. Nicky laughs. Mean? One is, one isn't, says Baron. Which one? Nicky. Nicky shrugs. Nicky's not mean, I say. Yeah, she is. And she says the H word. What's the H word? Hell. Nicky says, go away. Conrad shouts at her, you said it. And she beats me up, Baron says. Nicky says, ugh, and runs off the porch. She always does, says Conrad. And she blackmailed Baron. What's blackmail? I ask. Like when you say, I'll tell on you if you don't do something, says Conrad. Yeah, remember, says Baron. And she banged my head on the floor, and it hurt. His eyes are frank and wide.
When it gets to the part that he says she banged my head on the floor, I'm like, okay, so she's orphan.
Oh, and then then Nancy Joe says, no, really? I say, that's not nice. I know, Baron says. She always does stuff. Would you put that in the magazine?
That was low-key my favorite part of the entire article. Like, because Nicky, the thing that I love about reading about them specifically during this time is that post The Simple Life, it was just kind of decided that Nicky was always going to be a background player. Like,
Yeah.
she chose at that point to not be the Hilton sisters anymore, kind of. She kind of had put that to bed and decided, I'm going to do my own thing. We're not going to keep doing purse lines together, and we'll get to all of the fucking business ventures that are mentioned in this article. But like, I love reading about Nicky during this time when it was like kind of undetermined what they would be. And they were kind of like, there's like a section of the article where they talk about going to Jay-Z's party, and Dame Dash is like, are you 2 twins? Like, nobody knows what they are yet, but it's like clearly they're gonna be something. And yeah, Nicky is just so interesting to me. Like, Nicky is where all the bodies are buried.
Also wonder too, if, so like you said, she moves away from being associated with Paris, and she kind of, you can see her make a concerted pivot to be a little
Mhm.
classier. And then now, she ultimately did what her mother really wanted for both of them at some point. I mean, she always wanted Paris to be famous, but what she really wanted was for them to be rich and
Right.
to be ladies and to be respectable. And in the end, that's what Nicky became. And I wonder if
Yeah.
that was her kind of seeing like, okay, I'll never be the star, but
Mhm.
I can become the favorite this way.
Dara, I think that you just hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what it is because she, like you said, she gave her mom what she truly wanted from her daughters. And also, it's not like she didn't just like find some wealthy guy.
Yeah,
Like she found a
the
fucking Rothschild, like the wealthy
the
guy.
wealthy guy.
It's like a continuation of generational wealth in a way that will, last several grandchildren.
Mhm.
And like she really did the damn thing in terms of like what Big Cath taught the women in that family was
Yes.
the thing to do.
Yeah,
She did it in like the best and most like opulent way that you could. Like she married a fucking Rothschild.
and she gave Kathy heirs during a time when it was like, well, Paris might not be doing that. Paris had
Yeah.
had kids. It kind of wasn't looking that way.
Yeah.
And she gave her little children who can pitter-patter down the stairs in their
Yeah.
expensive little dresses and have their portraits painted and hung above the fireplace, just like
Mhm.
the royalty that Kathy wanted her family to be.
Right. And like their perfect little, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, perfectly bred
Oh,
children. They have great genes, as Sydney Sweeney would say. They're amazing genes.
I would love to know what the Rothschilds think of Nicky's family. Now,
I would give
they're new
anything.
money is what it is. They look at them as new money.
Yeah. Darla, can you picture what they say about Paris behind her back?
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
it's just so that's what I want. Like, that's the show that I want is like all of that,
and we'll
and like the
never get it.
compromise of Nikki having to be like, listen, I know that my sister is whatever. Like, I know that there are pictures of me on the internet, like pulling my vagina open in a tanning bed, but that was the past.
That's over.
Okay. I was a young girl.
Lips stay closed now.
It's so interesting. But it's fascinating. Like, Nikki did find a way to like achieve the greatest success. And also, honestly, I feel like at a certain point she must have looked at Paris and been like, damn, like, I'm so sorry for you that you have
Yeah.
to keep doing all this dumb shit and releasing all these dumb products that you don't really care about that are being made in Istanbul and, lines at TJ Maxx and hair straighteners and all this dumb shit. Like, you have to keep doing this because you didn't do the damn thing.
And because you both have to, because you're the only person who's going to be making that money, and also
Mhm.
because you've become so addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like, you've kind of made yourself a little brain dead where it's never enough. There's always another brand deal. You never wanna be sitting still for too long because then you're gonna have
Yeah.
to think about everything.
I wanted to ask you if you, were you familiar with any of the like, they're also filming a documentary while they do this interview?
So, I had heard about this documentary,
What's it called? The Fame List or some shit?
Guest List.
The Guest List.
I had just heard about it through research on Paris, but of course, I was reminded of it when I read this, and I was like, "There's gotta be something out there," and it is scrubbed. It's scrub-a-dub-dubbed. It
Oh, it must be so
it
incriminating.
Can
Oh,
you imagine?
because it's following teenage Paris and Nikki to to Jay-Z's house. And they describe, like, Nancy's like setting the scene of them walking into this party, and they have a film crew and boom mics and lighting setups, and they're shining these big production lights in people's faces as they enter the party, which is when Dame Dash is like, "Are you guys twins? What is this?" Like,
Yeah.
nobody there even really knows who they are. There's also another I'm gonna read this for the people, and I just want to discuss this with you.
Hmm.
Quote, "People think I'm just like this party girl," says Paris. Well, I'm not like that. I don't just go to parties. I wake up in the morning and I go to auditions. I was going to college, but then I decided to take a year off. They were mad. Her voice trails off and she wears a little smile. She knows that she's going to have to start supporting herself, Kathy says. She's finally figuring that out. In fact, Paris has just finished shooting an independent feature called Sweetie Pie, a teen thriller. She plays Sweetie Pie. Basically, I'm killed like right in the beginning. But what I'd really like people to know is that I'm working on fundraising for breast cancer. Paris continues softly, because my grandmother is sick. Well, then speak up, Kathy says. Her voice suddenly trembles. She has been devastated by her mother's illness. I'm trying to, Paris says smoothly, but you're always interrupting me. Kathy grows quiet. And I just wanted to point this out because Sweetie Pie is a movie that was being produced by none other than Big Balls Cisco Adler. Now,
Hmm.
what the fuck is Sweetie Pie?
Well, you know who else is, I believe, in it is Courtney Semmel.
Oh my
So
God.
basically, what I believe it to be is this is like they were all friends. It was like Cisco, Courtney Semmel. Courtney Semmel's in it. Spencer Grammer. Cisco's also in it. And I think they're all just, friends from high school. And they're like, let's make a movie.
Wait. Okay. I'm looking at it right now. First of all, it has a 2.1 on IMDb, which I didn't even know that you were allowed to rate things that low. I didn't even know that that would happen.
Well, but it also says under trivia, the film's existence has been debated since the beginning of its supposed production. Its existence has yet to be proven and as it has not been released either in theaters or on a physical format.
Okay. Because I'm like, there's no way that this would get past you and I.
No, absolutely not. I think it was one of those things where, she's trying to put herself forward as legit as an actress, as, she's doing more than just a girl about town. And I really think that this was just her and her friends, making their own little indie film, like a bunch of rich kids.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, to her credit, it's like, a lot of the projects that Paris mentions in this, it's like she's trying to find like legitimate reasons that she can give for why
Yeah.
she is like of note.
Yeah.
Because it's like not a thing yet to just be like, I'm famous for being myself. I'm famous for being me. I'm famous because people like taking pictures of me and I'm an attraction. Like the clubs love having me there because
Yeah.
you can't like say that. So she's like, I'm an actor and I went to college and I go to auditions and I do modeling. She's always trying to like legitimize herself rather
Yeah.
than just being like, I'm famous for being me.
Which, this was the first time she's being introduced on a real mainstream scale. Because being famous for being just like an heiress or whatever, like that was common in New York City, like the New York
Right.
society. But yeah, she has to then legitimize herself in some sort of way. And it's kind of interesting to have her bring that up. And then they talk so much about the documentary crew. Like to have that, I think that's so cool that at the end of the day, this documentary existed. We know that there was a crew, at least, that Nancy saw it. It never came out, but it existed.
Right.
But I don't know if this is true, but apparently in 2016 on eBay, there were tapes that were supposedly the raw footage from this documentary. But it was bought for a large sum, and then no one ever saw them.
By Rick Hilton.
Yeah, definitely.
Dara. What I would get... I mean, can you imagine what's on those tapes?
Can you imagine how much they got paid out? I mean, they must have gotten paid out in the beginning, and then someone who actually had the physical copies years and years later was like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah, like they just held on to the lost media forever.
Mhm.
And I feel like, yeah, it must have been either her or somebody in her family that bought that, because it'd be on YouTube.
Yeah. Though I do think the thought of them putting it on eBay, it's like, why wouldn't you just go directly? Oh, you know what I bet it is? They went to the Hiltons. They said they extorted them. They said, we're like,
Yeah.
and they're like, we don't bargain. Okay, we don't bargain. They're like, fine. And then they put it on
Yeah.
eBay to show that they meant business.
I bet that's exactly what happened, because it sounds like the whole point of the doc was like following them to parties
Yeah.
and to like events, and they're children and they are drinking and doing drugs and being promiscuous and like showing their like bodies at these parties.
And
So-
it was originally supposed to be about a bunch of people, and then
Right.
it got filtered into Paris. So it's like she must have really been showing them something.
This is why I love to remind people that Paris has like 12 sex tapes.
Yeah.
Like, Paris has so many sex tapes that it's actually like laughable to even say the Paris Hilton sex tape, because there's so many of them.
Yeah. I can only imagine what is on that puppy. It just, there's got to be someone we can track down. I even just want to, off the record, be like, what's the vibe?
Yeah.
Not that I can't
Yeah.
guess, but
Just want it I want the background footage. I want to see what's going on at Jay-Z's house. I want to see the raw footage of a Jay-Z and Dame Dash era party. Aaliyah's probably there.
it must be. It's historical. I hope there's still another. I bet there's no other copies. I bet it was like eventually, this is the master. It's over. But that is just historical.
Yeah. Like, that's true lost media. You know it's lost media when people don't even know it's lost.
Mm-hmm. That is the truth.
People don't even know to categorize it as lost media because it's so fucking lost.
We find Vecna, we end this once and for all, together.
On December 25th.
We have a plan. It's a bit insane. Everyone in?
He knows where we are. Watch out! Get ready for one last adventure.
We stay true to ourselves. Stay true to our friends.
No matter the cost.
Found you. Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 2, begins December 25th, only on Netflix.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
At Etsy, we know the holidays are already exciting, but we can't help adding joy to the season. Get up to 60% off gifts from small shops with Etsy Cyber Specials. Terms apply. For gifts that say, I get you, shop Etsy.
So we're changing things up, and instead of doing letters to the editor at the beginning, we're doing it after the fact, because this week we have the letters to the editors regarding this particular article. So this was from the following issue of Vanity Fair, and it has people writing in to discuss this article. And we've got some doozies, don't we, Troy?
I have to say, I texted Dara after I read them, and I was like, my jaw is on the floor. I literally was like, this is such a perfect cherry on top of this Vanity Fair Sunday. Like, they're so good. As a fourth generation Hilton, Ava Hilton, Conrad's sister, was my great grandmother. I am ashamed that Paris and Nicky Hilton are related to me. While I have not had any connection with the Hilton family since my great grandmother died, I now see why. In Nancy Jo Sales' article, Hop Debs from September, they are revealed to be immature, spoiled snobs. I was particularly angered by the way Paris treats clerks at the Hilton hotels, demanding to have a room key and grabbing it from their hand as if she owns the place. My advice to the Hilton girls: get something meaningful in your lives and treat people who work at the Hilton hotels with respect. They help pay for your designer clothes and your sad lifestyle. With love from Celeste Hines.
Los Angeles, California. So this next one, this is a good one because it gives you another layer of info.
Yes.
All right. It is regrettable that no official of the Dwight School was consulted as to the recollections of Paris Hilton's mother on her daughter's tenure at our school. I won't violate our strict confidentiality policy with a point-by-point refutation. I can assert that Mrs. Kathy Hilton gave outright misinformation on Paris's academic average and on her very short stay, only part of the 10th grade, at Dwight. Much more serious is Mrs. Hilton's statement that we left that school because we had a stalker, quote. To my knowledge, no complaint about a stalker was ever lodged with the school by Mrs. Hilton. For the record, Dwight implements every precaution recommended for schools by security professionals. We offer the International Bachelorette program in grades K through 12 and are very sensitive to the security concerns of the many diplomats and foreign dignitaries who send children to Dwight. No stalker, quote, could have escaped notice in the environments of the Dwight School. To say that this happened is calumny. This is definitely a scholarly lady. Your writer makes plain why Paris Hilton deserves sympathy, but neither Paris nor any young person having a difficult time is well served when a reputable journal takes at face value the distorted account of a disaffected parent. In this case, a brief phone call to any school official would have established the truth. And that's Celia Ray, Director of Development and Communications of the Dwight School, New York, New York.
Listen, I love it because Kathy is a pathological liar, and she is still a pathological liar. And Kathy weaponizes her charm and her whimsy and her kookiness in a way that is so sinister. And I know like you're the same as me. Like I always see it. And when she first came on Beverly Hills and everybody was like, she's the wackiest, most fun lady. I'm like, you guys are so fucking dumb because she is so manipulative.
So manipulative. The way she will just suddenly turn it on that, oh gosh, where am I? What's I'm just a dotty old broad. I'm a batty old biddy.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, how convenient that was just turned on when someone asked you a pointed question that you didn't want to answer.
About like an alleged racist rant that you went on that wasn't caught on camera. All of a sudden, you're Mrs. Magoo.
Yeah. And then when she wants to get her point across, when she wants to scare someone, she has no problem, really stepping 2 feet on the ground and getting in your face.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't really hold her accountable like that anymore. It's kind of taboo to hear people like, push back against her like that nowadays. So it was like really nice to see somebody be like, that's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not true.
I will say, tough that that as the writer said, it was an easy phone call to make to check that out. Ooh.
Yeah, like I'm sure somebody would have known at the school. Any one person would have known that you were dealing with a stalker that was like bodyguard levels bad, that you had to like leave the state.
Yeah. There's one more that is specifically touches on Nancy Jo. It says, It is sweet that Nancy Jo Sales refuses to pass judgment on this vulgar and vapid duo, simply reporting the facts in a tradition of objective journalism. The author's slyly inserted sour details are rare and so meek as to be almost missed. And poor David LaChappelle, who photographed the sisters. What an awful task. And that was Lisa Hilmer, Denver, Colorado.
I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I had so much fun reading this article. I had so much fun with the little names of the Cisco Adler drop. Like, I wish that the Hiltons were written about like this still.
I guess we got to the end of the article, but we do have a letter to the editors from a listener.
Yes.
Now, I will say, I'm about to send this to you, Troy, because I do believe it's meant for you. It's meant for you.
It's like a death threat.
Yes.
I should say before that it's requested that I read this in an Australian accent.
Yeah. You're not just like a musical theater weirdo or something.
Yeah, I'm not just like choosing to do this, okay? I want to respect the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Good day, me mates. Sending in my letter to my favourite editors from my home across the globe in Melbourne, Australia. I've been waiting so long for you guys to come back, checking on my phone since April, month to month, wandering lost in the podcast wilderness. Like a Joey who has lost his mama kangaroo. When I got the notification of your return, I yelled struth and almost dropped my salted sizzle in the Bunnings car park. Would you guys ever do an Australian magazine like New Idea or Women's Day? Maybe if those magazines in the 80s chronicle Kylie Minogue's transition from playing Charlione on Neighbours to making it to the big smoke. For what we know of her now, it's also an excuse to rip out the Australian accent that I love you guys mimicking. Keep up the amazing work. I've gotta love you and leave you, Mama Kangaroo, and get back to my shrimp on the barbie and pet my pet wallaby. I tried so hard.
I think that was great. Listen, that was all improv. You were doing that on the fly. I just like hate you with that. And I think you did a great job.
That was genuinely so funny and written so funny. Thank you so much. That was an awesome letter.
Signed by Welcome to the OC bitch at Hotmail.
I am obsessed. That was great. Wow.
Well, Ella, g'day to Australia.
We love you so much.
It's too late. I can't get in the flow.
Wait, can I leave you with my I'm rewatching The Real Housewives of Melbourne right now.
Melbourne?
Or no, Sydney of Melbourne. The Real Housewives of Sydney. And one of my favorite quotes, this woman says, she goes, you know what? I'm going to give you a bar of soap and why don't you wash your mouth out with it? Why don't you wash your mouth out with a bar of soap? And then Gina responds and she goes, I'll give you a bar of soap. Why don't you wash your fucking vagina with it? How about that? Stick it up your goddamn vagina and wash your vagina with it.
Wash your vagina with it. Wash your vagina with it.
Why don't you wash your vagina with a bar of soap?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That was a true treat and a half.
Yeah.
We loved it. And Troy, would we ever do an Australian magazine? I say, like, why the hell not?
I would be honored if you guys have send us recs if you have some PDFs of one that you I'd love to talk about Kylie from an Australian perspective.
I'd love to talk about Kylie, just sort of like peek around, see how you guys write about your stars.
Yeah.
Culture. This is culture. Learning about the world.
Send us recs for Australian mags and we will absolutely dabble.
Oh, yeah. We'll dabble our asses off.
Well, we love you guys very much and thank you so much for listening.
We love you. Oh, and if
follow us on Patreon.
Yes. Follow us on Patreon. And also, if you want us to read a letter to the editor to us on the show, you can either leave it on Apple Podcasts with a 5-star rating and review, but make sure to put it in the form of a letter so we know that you want to be featured. And for the whimsy.
And we're doing modern issues, current issues of articles that are coming out in real time on Patreon. So if you want to hear us talk about celebrities who are famous right now and not things from 20 years ago, there's that as well. Bye!
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.